Hey good people, ever wondered what lay beyond the mainstream political parties? How many more are out there, waiting, hoping to be discovered? With so many options on the ballot, it's easy to overlook the smaller parties. But at least one of them better aligns with your views than the red or blue team. I've condensed them all down into bite-sized summaries, so let me know in the comments below if you find that one team that just makes you go, finally, somebody that gets it. Animal Justice Party. Michael Anagno from the AJP described the party this way. The AJP was formed in order to promote and protect the interests of non-human animals by giving them a dedicated political voice. Our core values are kindness, equality, rationality, and non-violence. We have developed our extensive number of policies with these values in mind, along with our vision of a society in which animals are treated with respect. We have also developed position statements on various issues that do not directly affect animals. However, our focus is ensuring that animals and their interests receive fair consideration in the political process. If you're a vegan, this party is for you. These guys are opposed to animal farming, animal entertainment, and hunting. But they have also advocated for some policies that aren't specifically about animals. Keen on the decriminalisation of cannabis, the establishment of an ICAC and voluntary euthanasia. Their website is actually really good, but it's basically all about animals. I was surprised by their economic statements. They actually have a better handle on what can and can't be done by government in regards to the economy and what levers the government can pull. Don't get me wrong, they still believe government has a magic wand and that if the government just declares that everyone will have a high-paying job, then it shall be so. Fusion Party. It's called the Fusion Party because it's a combination of smaller parties like the Science Party, Pirate Party, Secular Party, Vote Planet Party, and Climate Change Justice Party. If you are a new age uni student type of person, spend 5 minutes Googling this party. They are your political wet dream. They want things like an 800% renewable energy target to tackle climate change, taxpayer-funded education for life, a transparent government with an anti-corruption agency, universal basic income, housing and equitable justice for all, civil and digital liberties, and so much more. This looks like the brainchild of a modern day politics class. But all of their desires come at a cost, and like any uni student, they have no plan to fund their cash splash. There is no mention of taxation or how this wish list will be paid for. In fact, no mention of economics at all. It's all well and good to call housing a human right, but government doesn't have a magic wand, and these things cost money, taxpayer money. I would like to give them extra credit for their communication skills. If you email them, they probably will email back, unlike other parties. I look forward to seeing this party mature over time. Heart Party. Formerly registered as IMOP and still currently updating their website details to reflect their name change, this is the party of anti-vaxxers. A few years ago, I would have said this was a fringe party with very few followers. But post-COVID pandemic and Australia's authoritarian response, trust in the WHO, public health institutions, and all vaccinations is at all-time lows. And consequently, parties like this have gained a lot of popularity. You can argue whether that trust deserved to be destroyed or not. I'm just stating that for a lot of people it has been. Reading through their aims and objectives, they aren't actually opposed to any vaccines per se. They're opposed to governments forcing people to get vaccinated. Whether that coercion comes in the form of violence, threats, or social exclusions, they think that nobody should be able to tell you what to do with your body. Whilst this subject still gets people's hackles up, none of what they're saying should be controversial. It's all in accordance with the Nuremberg Code. They also care about the environment and want the government to be smaller and less intrusive in your lives, citing support for lower taxes, less red tape, and protecting anonymous financial transactions. The Great Australia Party. Wikipedia describes GAP as a right-wing populist party, and honestly that's not far off. I think of these guys as a party that wants Australia to be like it was 50 years ago. They want patriotism to be taught in schools, Commonwealth Bank to be owned by the government, immigration to go to net zero, and senior citizens to get a free ride upon retiring at age 60. But what they are doing is looking back with rose-tinted glasses. What they want is for Australians to be proud of their country. but teaching patriotism in schools is going to look a lot more like national indoctrination. Abolishing income tax, one of the government's primary revenue sources, would lead to significant disruptions in public funding. To do something like this requires a 10-year plan, and they should put in the effort to create and release the details of such a plan before this goal can be taken seriously and the party trusted. They also have significant concerns with our legal and justice system. GAP would like to create boot camps for juvenile offenders, replace family court with a family tribunal, and make desecration of the Australian flag a criminal offence. A trend that I've noticed with the minor parties is that almost all of them advocate for people's initiated referenda. The practice of people having a direct vote on policies or constitutional changes instead of relying on politicians to initiate referendums on implementation or removal of policies. Australian Christian Party. The clue is in the name, but don't dismiss them just because of their faith. Maybe their policies actually align with your values, even though you're not religious. 40% of Australians claim no religion, but 90% of Australians believe in free speech and the presumption of innocence, both originally Christian ideas. But sadly, their platform hardly makes mention of these values. It hardly mentions anything at all, just 2 sentences on each of these 7 topics. What they do mention is that they believe government should administer in accordance with the Bible and a Christian God, and Australians generally want their church and state separate. That's 4 more parties in just 2 minutes each, but there are 4 more parties in the next video. Check it out and maybe you'll find that party that just makes you go, can I vote against them? The Animal Justice Party and the Fusion Party probably have some overlap, as does the Great Australia Party and the Christian Party, but I doubt there is any overlap between those 2 groups. If you're someone that votes across that ideological rift, I want to hear from you. Remember, you were born free.